Contracts are not just for big businessmen or lawyers, they are an integral part of our daily lives. From the moment we wake up till the time we sleep, we constantly enter into agreements, often without even realizing it. Buying groceries, booking a cab, recharging a mobile plan, renting a house, joining a coaching class, every such promise carries an expectation that the other person will perform their part. Law steps in to support this expectation, ensuring that these agreements have a framework of enforceability. This is the first episode of our Indian Contract Act series, where we will delve into its foundational principles. In this introductory class, we understand why this act exists and how it shapes the functioning of society. Before 1872, India did not have a uniform system of contract law, leading to inconsistency and injustice. Courts in different regions followed personal laws or English principles inconsistently, causing significant uncertainty. To ensure clarity, fairness, and a common legal foundation for commercial and social transactions, the Indian Contract Act, 1872, was enacted. It provides rules that decide when a promise becomes enforceable, what duties arise from it, and what remedies a party has when the other breaks the promise. Today, contract law forms the backbone of India's economic life, facilitating countless transactions. Section 2 defines a contract as an agreement enforceable by law, a crucial distinction. This means two elements must come together. First, there must be an agreement, and second, that agreement must be legally enforceable. An agreement is formed when one person makes an offer and the other accepts it, creating a mutual understanding. But even when an agreement is made, it becomes a contract only if the law is willing to enforce it. For example, if a promises to meet B for a movie and later cancels, we cannot take legal action. Such a social promise is not intended to create legal consequences, hence it's not a contract. However, if a promises to sell a mobile phone to B for 20,000 rupees and then refuses to deliver after taking the payment, the law intervenes. A legal obligation has arisen in this commercial transaction, making it enforceable. This simple distinction helps us understand the famous principle: all contracts are agreements, but not all agreements are contracts. For a promise to gain legal enforceability, certain essential elements must be present. There must be a lawful offer made and a lawful acceptance to that offer, forming the basis of consent. There must be consideration, meaning something of value exchanged between the parties, the quid pro quo. The parties entering into the agreement must be legally capable of contracting, meaning they should be major, of sound mind, and not disqualified by law. Consent must be free and not caused by coercion, undue influence, fraud, misrepresentation, or mistake. The object of the agreement must be lawful and not opposed to morality or public policy, ensuring ethical dealings. When these elements come together, the law recognizes the promise as binding and enforceable, creating a valid contract. The Act covers the entire journey of a contract, from how it is formed to how it is performed, and finally how it comes to an end. It also explains the rights and duties of parties and provides remedies when a contract is broken, ensuring justice. Though the original Act included provisions relating to indemnity, guarantee, bailment, and agency, these topics now function as independent chapters within the larger framework of contract law. In simple words, contract law makes promises meaningful by attaching responsibility and consequences. It ensures that trust in commercial and everyday dealings is protected, fostering a reliable environment. Without contract law, business transactions would collapse and social trust would weaken, leading to chaos. In the next episode, we will explore the exact point where every contract begins, the concepts of offer and acceptance. We will cover sections 2, and sections 3 to 9 of the Act in detail. Understanding those rules will give us the foundation needed for the entire study of Indian contract law. Stay connected as we move forward step by step and make this subject easy, logical, and practical for your studies.